All right, so we're diving into The Decision Millionaire. This book really caught my eye because who couldn't use a little more, millionaire in their decision making, right?
Is an interesting premise for sure. Instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, it suggests we already have the tools for making great decisions. It's just a matter of tapping into them.
So it's like we're all walking around with like a winning lottery ticket we haven't checked yet.
Exactly. And one of the key tools the book highlights is this idea of an invisible compass. You know, that gut feeling you get sometimes?
So all the time. So is this like a superpower we can develop, this invisible compass?
It's more about fine tuning a sense we already possess. Think of it like this: our brains are constantly picking up cues, like subtle hints, past experiences, even physical reactions. The invisible compass is about connecting the dots between our intuition and our lived experiences.
Okay, so it's not just blindly trusting your gut. It's about understanding why your gut's telling you something.
Precisely. And that's where the choice compass comes into play, but it's not as straightforward as it sounds.
Oh, how so?
Well, the book emphasizes the importance of, well, decluttering our decision making process.
Decluttering. Like, are we talking about our closets now?
It's the same principle. We need to clear away the distractions, narrow down our options, and create space for that choice compass to guide us effectively.
That makes sense. It's hard to hear that inner voice when there's so much noise around us.
Exactly. But of course, even with the best compass, we're all human. We're going to make wrong turns sometimes.
And that's where the Phoenix effect comes in, right?
Yeah.
Learning to turn those missteps into, I guess, opportunities for growth.
More than just accepting failure, embracing it as valuable data, each mistake becomes a stepping stone, a chance to recalibrate and make a better choice the next time.
So instead of beating ourselves up, we can actually use those experiences to make our choice compass even stronger.
You got it.
Okay, I'm with you so far. So now imagine this, a chameleon, but instead of blending into the background, it's like wearing a tiny business suit, making power moves in the corporate world.
Okay, you've got my attention and maybe slightly terrifying me.
That's the chameleon strategy in a nutshell. It's all about adaptability, being able to adjust quickly to new information and situations.
Which is crucial in today's world, right? Everything moves so fast, whether you're in business or just navigating everyday life.
Totally. It's like the book uses the example of, say, a tech startup. They're faced with that classic dilemma. Invest in product development now or go all in on marketing. Tough choice, right?
For sure. And that's where the book suggests using prescriptive analytics to figure out the best path forward.
Okay, before we go any further, can we break down this whole prescriptive analytics thing? It sounds incredibly technical. Like, do I need a PhD to understand it?
No PhD required. Think of it like this. You're at a buffet.
All right, buffet analogy. I'm following you so far.
Okay, so picture this. You're at this buffet, right?
Yeah.
And there are all these amazing dishes to choose from. But you want the best possible meal, something both satisfying and, kind of balanced.
Right, instead of just loading up on the dessert.
Exactly. And that's where prescriptive analytics comes in, is like having this personal chef there with you, analyzing your tastes, what you need, even how hungry you are. And then they help you put together the optimal meal.
So it's about making the most strategic and fulfilling choices, not just going with what your stomach's saying in the moment.
You got it. It's about factoring in all the variables for the best outcome.
Which makes sense not just for buffets, but for life decisions too.
Yeah.
So how do we actually apply this prescriptive analytics thing? The book mentions creating our own decision-making algorithms.
Right. And that might sound intimidating, but it's simpler than it seems. Think of an algorithm as a set of personalized guidelines, right? They're there to help you make those consistent, data-backed decisions in any situation.
So instead of staring at my to-do list every morning, wondering where to even begin.
Exactly. You could create an algorithm for that. One that prioritizes tasks based on, let's say, deadlines, how important they are, maybe even your energy levels throughout the day.
So it's like working smarter, not just harder.
Precisely.
That's pretty game-changing, especially for anyone who, struggles with procrastination. So are there other areas where these decision-making algorithms can be useful?
Tons. Think about saving money, for example.
Yeah.
You could set up an algorithm that automatically transfers a part of your income into your savings each month.
Makes sense.
Or let's say you want to eat healthier. You could have an algorithm that helps you plan out your meals, tracks what you're eating, maybe even suggests healthier options at the grocery store.
So it's like having a personal assistant for your brain.
Exactly. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of decision making.
Which is great because sometimes the weight of those decisions, especially the big ones with long-term consequences, can be, well, kind of overwhelming.
Absolutely. And that's where the book's emphasis on uh, the domino effect really resonated with me. It's this idea that even the smallest choices can set off these huge changes down the line.
Like the butterfly effect, right?
Right.
One seemingly insignificant decision today could snowball into something massive in the future.
Right.
And once we really grasp that, that our choices have this ripple effect, it really shifts your perspective.
For sure.
It really does. It's like realizing your choices aren't isolated events. They're all connected.
Exactly. And that's where this whole decision millionaire thing gets really interesting. It's not just about making a bunch of smart choices. It's about setting off a chain reaction.
So each decision builds on the last, creating this like domino effect of positive outcomes.
Precisely. It's about recognizing that every choice matters, even the small ones. They all move us closer to or further away from what we want to achieve.
And that's where intentionality comes in, being mindful of the choices we're making and understanding their potential impact.
Right. And the book even takes it a step further, suggesting we think about building a legacy of smart decisions.
A legacy of decisions. That's a pretty powerful concept. What does that look like?
It's about considering how the choices we make today will shape, the world we leave behind, for future generations.
So it's not just about us becoming decision millionaires. It's about using this mindset to make a difference in the world around us,
Exactly.
which is a pretty amazing thing to think about. And it all starts with, like you said, being intentional with our choices starting today.
Absolutely. Every decision is a chance to steer our lives and maybe even the world in a new direction.
So with that in mind, what one small decision will you optimize today to set your own decision millionaire domino effect in motion? That's something for everyone listening to consider. This has been such a fascinating deep dive. Thanks for breaking it all down with me.
My pleasure.